With the improving weather and road conditions, I leave Alice for a long drive north with nightly stops in Kalu Kalu, the Devil's Marbles Conservation Reserve, the Daly Waters Pub, and the Victoria River Roadhouse, where I can resupply before spending a few days driving and hiking the magnificent Questro station.
After missing out on getting a picture of a yellow-tailed rock wallaby in Welford National Park, I was pretty disappointed for the rest of the trip that I didn't even manage to get a photo of the much more common black-footed rock wallaby. They are very timid and they tend to hide in the rocks during the day, but the other thing I was looking for was of course a dingo. While I had plenty around my camp, they kept just outside of the light and you could just see the shadows moving around, and I nearly popped my eyeballs out trying to drive for 100 kilometres without blinking, trying to see if I could see a thorny devil on the side of the road, which I didn't. Anyway, I was informed once I got back to Alice Springs that if I did the short 4 kilometre walk out of town to the old telegraph office, I'd be sure to catch a wide variety of the local wildlife. So I did this walk and pretty happy within the first kilometre. I found my black-footed rock wallabies who are quite used to people and quite happy to sit there and have their photo taken. I had a dingo waltzing out the track in front of me, a whole variety of bird life, and later on, further down that track, I found a large variety of cold-blooded critters of our country. So all in all, it was a pretty good day. In 4 kilometres I probably saw a bigger variety of wildlife than I saw in 4,000.
This site is the original and true Alice Springs. It's the Overland Telegraph repeater station. Within a matter of years of Stuart's epic crossing of the continent, they used his notes and for the first time had a vague idea of what they might be facing in the interior. It was the first building that was built in Central Australia. The surveyor who surveyed the site thought that a rock pool in the nearby Todd River was a spring. In fact, this was not true, and he named the site Alice in honour of his boss's wife. He was either the world's greatest suck or he had the hots for Alice. Very soon afterwards, now that the route was opened up, with the discovery of gold and gemstones in the McDonald Ranges, people began moving into the area. A town quickly grew up about 4 kilometres south of the telegraph station, and it was called Stuart Town. By the 1920s, Stuart Town's infrastructure had grown far greater than the original Alice Springs settlement, and the post office and telegraph station was moved there. This caused huge amounts of confusion for everyone, and eventually in 1944, Stuart Town was renamed Alice Springs. I'd always wondered who Alice was. The much feared mulga snake, sometimes called the king brown, even though it's a black snake. This is a shoveling python. He lives underground and burrows. A black-headed python, magnificent. he uses his black head to regulate his body temperature. The feared taipan, and the diminutive but deadly death adder. They're very hard to see. This is a Coitus magnum illegitimus serpens, an olive python, and that's dinner. A green tree frog. Here we have a whip snake, some lizards, and this is a little tree goanna. Another lizard, a water monitor, carpet snake, freshwater croc, a very cute thorny devil. I finally got to see one. A blue tongue, another goanna, posing. He liked his picture taken, this one. A saltwater crocodile. This fellow's moving because the trainer is calling his name. He apparently responds to 10 commands. A flat-out lizard. More thorny devils. And a huge parenti.
Well, I hope you enjoyed those images of some of our amazing reptiles. So I thought I'd tell you a few interesting things about them that's not generally known. Now, most people know that Australia has a lot of snakes, and they rank up there with the world's most venomous. But there's several big differences, and that's important to us humans when we're in their territory. The first is, elsewhere in the world, venomous snakes have dirty, great big fangs. It's a deep puncture wound, and pretty much that means you're stuffed. In Australia, even our biggest snakes have very tiny fangs. Almost you need a magnifying glass to see some of them. Now, when they bite you, basically all they end up doing is scratching you. Now, if you're one of their normal prey, that doesn't make much difference. You're dead in 25 minutes. That's for a human. Small prey is obviously much quicker than that. But what it means for humans is there's one way we can prevent getting that scratch, and it's simply to wear closed-in shoes or boots and long pants. I go the extra step and I wear snake gaiters when I'm walking around on some of the paths. Every national park that I've visited so far in every area has warnings up saying snakes are active. The other thing is that, okay, if you do get that scratch and the venom's being absorbed into your lymph system, there's something you can do here in Australia that doesn't work in other places in the world, and that's apply a pressure bandage to the limb. The first thing to do as quickly as possible is to apply pressure to the wound, leave the venom there, do not wash it, because the medical people can use their venom identification kit to work out what anti-venom to give you. Bind the wound, then bind the entire limb from the extremities up towards the heart. Then put a splint on it, and the trick is no movement whatsoever. That dramatically extends the time that you have to seek medical attention, which is also why I carry a sat phone with me. So you can't do that elsewhere in the world. The big deep bites from their nasty bastards swell up straight away, and the pressure bandage hurts like buggery, and it doesn't actually do all that much. The other important thing is our venomous snakes don't have any heat sensing ability. Our pythons do. Keep it down please. If you look at the image of the python, you'll see under his jawline little dots. They're his heat sensors. In the pitch black he could catch a flying bat. Our venomous snakes don't have that, and they have very poor eyesight and very poor hearing. They can sense movement through their body, through the ground. So the obvious thing to do is, if you're in snake country, wear boots, wear long pants, and avoid them. If you're far enough away from one when you do see it, just back away slowly. He probably won't even be aware that you're there. If you find yourself very close to one within his striking range, freeze. You'll virtually become invisible to him. carefully, move away quietly. If you start bouncing around and jumping up and down, he's probably going to have a go at you. While we're on that topic, the thing that gets up my goat is these people who bring their toddlers into these areas, and the kids are running around with shorts and sandals on. One of these snakes would kill them long before they could reach any help. So parents, make sure your kids are appropriately attired if you're taking them into snake country. Having said that, thousands of tourists every day go walking in these areas in their thongs and their shorts. It's pretty rare for anyone to get bitten. I don't mind the tourists doing it, it just cleans out the gene pool a little bit, but I do get upset when I see kids being exposed to that. Hope that was helpful.
The Tropic of Capricorn marker at 23.447 degrees south. This is the angle that the Earth is tilted over from its orbit, and it basically means that you get 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. The true impact on the weather is not felt until you get a little bit further north, and it also lines up in the southern hemisphere with the constellation of Capricorn, the goat.
Welcome to my Pentecost River campsite at Questro. I've got in about an hour ago, just driven along the track to get to my camp, and I've got to say I'm pretty happy with it. It's lots of wildlife, lots of four-wheel driving to do, lots of walking tracks, and a good restaurant and hot showers further back at the homestead. So I'll see if I can take you for a walk around this campsite so you get an idea of where I am. So here we have palm tree thingies. That tells me I'm in a tropical place. The Hilton's almost set up, ready for a bit of FOFOA editing. The Pentecost River. Which is very pleasant. I have my fireplace all ready for tonight. More palm tree thingies. However, the planned quick dip and a scrub may have to be done at the homestead, I think. So I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly am. I'm here at the Pigeonhole lookout at Questro, and it's just, keep using the word stunning, but an interesting four-wheel drive trip to get up here, and it was definitely worth it. It's just absolutely beautiful. So well, there's a few more to get to yet, and the day's still young. Hope you're envious. I don't know if you can hear the birds, but the place is alive with budgies and finches, and it's just great to be able to be here this hour of the morning, and I'm pretty lucky. So if you can't guess, I'm having a great time. This is my last day at El Questro, and I'm in Amalia Gorge, walking along the bottom of the gorge, and it's a very pleasant morning for it. Earlier on this morning I visited the Zebedee Springs, and that was absolutely beautiful. So going to try and make the most of my last day here, or full day, and do as many of the walks as I possibly can. So it's been a great place. The private camping ground has been an absolute treat. I've got all the amenities only a few kilometres away, and I've got the peace and solitude in an absolutely glorious position to camp in. So I'll continue my walk, and I'm sure you'll see one or two photos from it. I'm at the small waterfall at Amalia Gorge, and once again I use the word, it's just absolutely beautiful. There's this gorgeous rock pool here full with very large fish. So I'm going to have a bit of a rest and a drink, and start making my way back out.